are two types of relationships that I've heard a lot of people describe. Gotta be honest with y'all, I've got a lot of beef with these two types of relationships. Those types of relationships are the traditional gender roles or provider type relationship, and then what some call 50-50. Now, why do I have beef with this? Well, beef number one, people often present traditional gender roles or 50-50 as the only option. You have a choice between one or the other, and they live in the extreme. You either have to choose traditional gender roles, where a man's a provider, sole income breadwinner, and the woman's taking on the role of a helper, managing the household. However, if you don't want this in its purest form, your other option is 50-50, where all aspects of the relationship and household are split evenly down the middle from the start, all the time, for the entirety of the relationship. Sum it up, you either got a choice between some 50s housewife style thing or some pseudo power couple type relationship. Side note, the way people describe 50-50 is the least sexy thing in the world, which is why I chose this picture. Two stuffy ass dorks holding coffee. However, I'm not some psychopath who lives in black and white. I think this all lives on a spectrum. And I actually put 50-50 in the middle, traditional gender roles on the left, some modified traditionalism on the right side of it. Where it's basically the opposite of traditional gender roles. I truly think very few relationships actually live exactly on one of these spokes. I think they all live somewhere in the middle. I think it's totally possible to have some parts of your relationship be 50-50, while another part of it's in traditional gender roles. For example, one dynamic I see a lot is when both parties in a couple are successful in their careers, they contribute about the same amount of money to the relationship. However, when they're at home together, the man takes on more traditionally masculine roles. Might be the one doing the driving or the mechanics on the car, while the woman's taking on a more feminine role. Maybe she's the one doing the decorating or the cooking, or somewhere in between any of it. There's no right or wrong answer. My other beef with these two types of relationship, people also say not only do you have to pick one or the other, you have to do so from the start, and you must stay in that lane all the time for the duration of the relationship. Why is that fucking ridiculous? Well, life's a fucking roller coaster. There are so many situations where individuals have to adjust or adapt based on things out of their control. And if two individuals within a relationship have to adjust or adapt, that means the relationship and its dynamics might have to too. Regardless of the type of relationship you're in, what could happen to the relationship overall if one person in the relationship, say, loses their job or gets sick, gets injured? What if that injury is severe? What if it results in a permanent disability? While you may opt for a relationship that exists closer to this end of the spectrum, if the man's the sole provider working a blue-collar job, has to be on his feet and breaks his leg, can't work for a few weeks, well, maybe for a few weeks the dynamics are going to be a little bit over here. That could happen because, well, life happens. And situational adjustments can also be positive. Technological advancements in society, like the ones I've listed here, can bring so many more opportunities to individuals in relationship. And that might shake up dynamic. And the third and final beef I have with the two types of relationships don't take into consideration the two unique individuals that make it up. You see, every individual has unique talents, skills, passions, and interests. In the right relationship, an individual should be able to bring that to the table in a way that's fostered and celebrated. But what happens if, say, a man has a skill or talent that's traditionally seen as feminine? Say he has a passion for cooking. Is the individual supposed to abandon or forgo this because it doesn't fall within traditional gender roles? Or split that duty down the middle with someone not as skilled in it because, well, 50-50? While I think dynamics live on a spectrum, I think there's also room for a la carte here. You can live over here with some picking and choosing. Getting cut for time, here's my final thoughts. Thanks all.